Hey guys, I thought I'd let you guys recap of my day 1A at the EPT Grand Final. So pretty much what happened was I woke up around 11 something when the tournament started at 12, sleeping, and I woke up and the Z's went away. It's like, oh crap, should I get some food? Maybe some sausages or some eggs. And I was like, okay, I need to get some food. So I ran downstairs to get some food. Then I ran over to the building over here, a little bit late, but this is where the tournament was held at. Eventually, I went inside, and I got to my table with the EPT Grand Final Day 1A. The dealer sat here. He was already dealing cards out to every player, while my seat was right here, just having my chips kind of blind off. And after I sat down, I noticed to my right we had Phil Locke, also known as the Unabomber, just kind of sitting there with his hoodie on. But I also noticed to my left there was a chip stack blinding away, so I wasn't the only person that hasn't shown up. Pretty much that's it. There was another player here who was playing against Phil Locke a lot, and eventually he busted him, and Phil Locke didn't really say much like he usually does on TV. He kind of just exited, and there was no more Phil Locke. And I was kind of just grinding the table a little bit. And eventually, the guy who hasn't been posting, who I've been stealing his blinds all day because he just never showed up, I was like, oh, that's pretty nice actually. Turns out, this guy was walking over this way, and it turns out to be Patrik Antonius, who is a very good no-limit player, just poker player in general. If you're wondering what he looks like, kind of looks like this. He's bald, he's got two eyes. Doesn't smile all that often, but something like that. He looks like that. But he sat in this seat over here. And then he's got that aura around him that just kind of makes him kind of like scary, and you don't really want to play too many pots with him. So eventually, let's clean this up a little bit. Eventually, I got dealt. Let me draw my poker table again. The dealer dealt me two cards, which was the Queen of Diamonds and the 10 of Diamonds. Folded to me, and the button was out probably on me. And Patrik Antonius, actually the button was on him. I'm sorry. Patrik Antonius re-raised me. Re-raise. And I was out of position. But I was already aware of his aura and how he likes to play very aggressively. So, I raised to about 6 or 750, and he re-raised to about 2100. I decided, I'm not going to let him just do this to me. I'm going to call a position and, make him pay for coming to this table. So I called. The flop came 3 cards: the 9 of hearts, the 8 of hearts, and the 7 of hearts. I flopped a straight draw, but I didn't have any hearts in my hand, and 2 diamonds. I check, and Antonius bets about 3,200 approximately. I was like, okay, I have a pretty bad draw, but I figured, Antonius, he's very aggressive, so he could have a lot of hands in this situation. And, I didn't want to just be that guy who kind of just played fit or fold. Also, we had a lot of, cameras around watching this hand as it was unfolding. Lots of lights, lots of camera, lots of observers around here. And I was like, they're really pressuring me. Okay, I think it's time to continue the hand and let's see what happens. So he bet 3,200. I matched his 3200. The turn came a 10. A 10 of spades, I believe. Yeah, that looks like a spade, I believe. Came 10 of spades. I checked with my one pair, and he checked it back. So it's check, check. Now on the river, it came about a 2 of clubs. Don't know what that looks like a club. Pretty much a card that didn't really matter. Now it's my turn. At this point, I was a little bit, I could check and just kind of hope he had pure air and, I win the pot. Or when he re-raises, his hand is kind of strong too. He could have a pretty big hand here, like queens, kings, aces, or like 2 pair somehow, like maybe like a 9-8 or something, a 10-9. He could have lots of hands that beat my one pair. He could also have hands that wouldn't beat me. I did suspect that he didn't have a straight because he would likely bet this turn, given there's 3 hearts out there, and he wouldn't want to let me outdraw him. And I also think he would never have a flush here because he would just keep on betting on the turn, trying to get more money. I decided ultimately that since he re-raised, that his hand range was a bit stronger, and that he could definitely have hands that would, be scared to not bet on a turn, like queens, kings, and aces would be very scared. 2 pair hands would be very scared because of 4 straight on the board, because I could just have a jack or a 6 or something that could, take the pot away from him. Ultimately, I decided to bet 62.50 about, something along that lines, give or take 100 or 2. Decided to turn my hand into a bluff. Especially if all the more people are coming as the pot was getting bigger. People just maybe like, oh, I can't just check here. I'm going to make something bold. I bet 62.50. Pretty much deciding to turn my hand into a bluff. I figure if he had 2 pair type hand, and if I had if he had a 2 pair type hand and an overpair, he wouldn't be able to call very well on this board because I would likely have a hand that has a good piece that has showdown, but maybe I'll have 2 pair myself, and I wouldn't want to value bet it because it would be way too thin. And I also thought that he would just give me credit for a big hand here. Like, I can easily have a jack in my hand. I debated calling pre-flop. I could have a hand like jacks, 10 jack, or just a lot, or 9 jack. Just a lot of ways for me to win. I also thought how hard it would be for him to call. It would have to be a huge hero call. Also, previously, before, the hands before this hand came, I was playing pretty tight. Or, just kind of appeared that I wasn't showing any loose aggressive plays. He didn't know who I was. I'm not even sure, because he was sitting over here and the dealer is blocking us, so I'm not even sure if he saw my team online patch, which might have suggested that I knew what I was doing. But I decided to bet, and he tanked for a long time. We're talking like at least 3 minutes probably. And I was just thinking, oh man, what do I say if he calls or bluff? And ultimately, he threw his cards into the muck. And all the fans sighed that they probably didn't get to see anything cool happen. And I just pushed all the chips into my stack. And that was pretty much the biggest hand I played. Other than that, I kind of just kept on playing until towards the end of the day I lost a flip. I had ace jack and he had pocket 5s, but other than that, I was decently happy with the way I played throughout the tournament, but not the greatest. But this was pretty much the biggest hand, the most confrontational hand that happened. Hope you liked my hand history analysis, and let me know what you think about it.